Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am McAlphanine. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you could, please click that like button, turn it into a rocket, and send it to the moon. I have to start with a laugh, right? The banking coins, I'm telling you now. Every time I look at the banks that are involved with the banking coins, I have a good laugh. I just feel great. I feel amazing. And no different today. So today, I'm taking a look at some of the banks that are associated with Ripple and XRP, okay? There's so many new people to the crypto sphere. We must be patient with them. They're just learning about the banking coins. They're just learning about Ripple, Stellar, Hedera, and as a community, I believe that it is in our best interest if we should educate them, if we are to educate them kindly so that they can absorb this information. But some of them are not privy to the banks that that Ripple has signed up, and to another extent, Stellar has signed up, Algorand, Hedera, and we're going to talk a little bit about Hedera's bank connections. Okay, we spoke a little bit before in a prior video, and in the communities tab, we had a pretty good exchange there of information and minds putting out information that they had, we were sharing. And I was telling people MTech is leveraging Hedera, and they're pushing Hedera everywhere with central banks. You saw the Central Bank of Ghana trying to build their CBDC, I believe, on Hedera, HBAR. However, I had said and stated that, via FIS, which is on the Hedera governing board, FIS, who is utilizing Hedera, they run a Hedera node. They are bringing a myriad of banks to the table for Hedera. Now, they're not just going to utilize, I just don't fathom them just utilizing Hedera for smart contracts, also for security purposes, right? It's very secure. But Hedera has an entire white paper. It can be used as an insanely efficient cryptocurrency rail. You already have one central bank trying to utilize it for a CBDC. Why would FIS, with all of these banks that they supervise, why would FIS not utilize Hedera HBAR as a CBDC, as a digital currency, or try to push it as a national digital currency? They can provide a lot of infrastructure. Keep in mind, and I'm going to show you this, FIS also fully integrated with Visa, who's also bringing banks to the table and bringing a lot of B2B transactions to the table. We showed you the charts on that one in a prior video. And the amount of money that they were going to scrape up off of the table from B2B transactions, business to business, was substantial. It was mind-blowing, okay? So we have all of these things happening. Let's just take a look very quickly at some of the banks that are said to be utilizing Ripple XRP. So from ripple.com, okay, we have, and we're going to see if this correlates to some of the names that we find on the other list that we're going to read from, but let's just keep in mind these names. Bank of America, which also Bank of America, keep in mind, Bank of America did run a pilot in a contest that they were doing on Stellar. So keep that in mind as well, all right? But Ripple has Bank of America, SBI Remit, Indusland Bank. They have American Express, which, listen, they're going to bring a lot of capital to the table. So let's include them. They're not a bank, but they're a large financial institution that is comparable to a lot of these smaller commercial banks. So let's just include American Express. It's very significant there. MoneyNet. They have Mercury, CIMB Bank, Standard Chartered, SBI Remit. So then we have another list here, and this is from Amazon Web Services. So this is a reputable source, just like ripple.com. And they're giving us a list of some Ripple Net members. It says here on their website, Ripple collaborates with financial institutions worldwide. More than 100 financial institutions have joined Ripple Net, including Santander, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, Kotak Mahindra Bank, Itaú Unibanco, Indusland Bank, we saw that from the Ripple list, from India, InstaRealm, that's out of Singapore, B-Tech, I think we saw that on the Ripple list as well. It's from Brazil. Zip Remit from Canada. Lian from China. Rack Bank from the UAE. That's going to be very significant. Those ties in the United Arab Emirates are going to be very significant because they have a lot of money to scoop up off the table. There's a lot of capital moving through the United Arab Emirates. So there's something we're going to keep in mind and keep an eye on into the future. Okay. We might do a little bit of research on that in the upcoming weeks just to see if there's any movement there whatsoever. A lot of these things that happen with the banking sector are buried and they take a lot of digging to uncover what's going on. All right. So we have Rock Bank from the UAE, IFX from the UK, TransferGo from the UK, Currencies Direct from the UK, Air Wallets. So some of these are just large financial institutions. Some of these are commercial banks. So you have a lot of money moving through XRP if all of these are going to continue to build on it. And when there's regulatory clarity or mass adoption, they're actually going to implement and utilize the system to its fullest extent. Air Wallets, which is out of Australia, SEB from Sweden, SBI Remit, we heard that one on the other list, Siam Commercial Bank in Thailand. That is an interesting one. Thailand, I believe we just covered that. They put off their CBDC until later this year, the CBDC development. They had a myriad of problems. This is according to certain articles, not according to myself, that there were certain problems with consensus, which is run on Ethereum. So and that was the central bank of Thailand, okay? But if you have this relationship where Ripple already has a corridor within Thailand, it is highly possible that maybe someone from the bank system and the Siam commercial bank system or Ripple itself could reach out to the central bank of Thailand and say, hey, listen, we can set up infrastructure quite easily and XRP is a superior product to consensus. And it is. It is. I suggested myself that HBAR step in, Hedera step in. They have full infrastructure that they can roll out for a CBDC, as you saw in their white paper, and MTech as well. They can always shoot an email to MTech. I'm sure MTech already is aware about this. And MTech could set up infrastructure easily for Thailand Central Bank. So I thought Hedera would be a good fit because if you love Ethereum, you will just be head over heels in love with Hedera. However, XRP also could be a great replacement for consensus in Thailand. So that's another thing to watch as far as what happens and what's going to replace consensus, unless they stick with consensus. And I guess they shear up what was going wrong. I'm not sure what the technical issues were. But I do anticipate, humbly, I anticipate a lot of the other banks that are trying to roll out CBDCs on Ethereum via any of the mechanisms, but I think a lot of them are rolling it out via consensus. I think we'll see a lot of problems in the future with those types of rollouts, and they will have to switch to a superior protocol. In my humble opinion, I know that there's large business institutions now that are trying to do something on Ethereum. I think they're going to run into a lot of problems. Those high gas fees, the long wait times, you might as well stick with the legacy system. You might as well. But this is a good thing because it's going to show them the difference between those old antiquated technologies of the original generation of protocol versus the new superior protocol that move at light speed, like Starlight protocol, Hedera, 150,000 transactions per second, XRP, Algorand, can't be like, they're so superior. I think this is good for the banks to experience and the financial institutions to experience why they should look for these superior technologies and reach out to some of these companies. So we're going to keep an eye on Thailand Central Bank and a few others that are trying to run their CBDCs on consensus. Let's move on. You have Krungsri Bank also in Thailand. So Ripple has a lot, and one of my subscribers was telling me this. I see what you guys write. There are a lot of comments, so I can't read them all, but I read a good portion of comments. And one of my subscribers was telling me, hey, Mick, Mr. Alfani, we have a lot of legs in Thailand with Ripple. And that subscriber is absolutely right. We have some of the most brilliant subscribers here on this channel, in that comment section, also in the communities tab, and they are sharing a bounty of information. Some of them are great researchers. Some of them are great chart readers. I appreciate them to the fullest. Amazing people here on this channel. Okay, and I say that in all humility. But yes, my subscriber was informing me of this, and they are absolutely right. You have Siam Commercial Bank in Thailand, and you have Krung Sri Bank in Thailand. So it's not far-fetched that Ripple could step in and fill that gap for Thailand's central bank. That consensus has left. So we will see what happens. That would be very, very key and very significant. And that is a corridor that's going to be battled over. There's a lot of meetings going to take place. So let's continue on here. So it was some time before I was mentioning that I believe that FIS was on the governing board of Hedera. All right. And here we have it. And they are. I knew I saw that. They are on the governing board of Hedera. I told everyone before, humbly I say, Hedera could easily run CBDCs and be they could take a huge market share if they want. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but like I said, they were working with the CBDC there in Africa, one of the CBDCs there, through MTech. MTech is pushing them for CBDC infrastructure everywhere. This is Hedera, HBAR, okay? But they are on the governing board, FIS. FIS has a myriad of banks that they supervise, but let me not just tell you, let me actually go to the website and show you, okay? Seeing is better. But first, let's just cover this a little bit, that FIS integrated into Visa B2B Connect platform. They fully integrated with Visa. So that's another aspect where FIS, who's on the governing board and runs a Hedera node and utilizes Hedera for, I guess, a myriad of ways. We'll see how they want to put that out there later as far as what specifically they're going to do with HBAR or are doing as a financial supervisory organization. Keep that in mind. FIS is a supervisory organization. But they have fully integrated with Visa and are utilizing Hedera, HBAR, to some capacity. It's not far-fetched to see Hedera acting as a cryptocurrency rail, moving fiat back and forth. Cross-border remittances is what Visa wanted to focus on, B2B, cross-border remittances, B2B payments and such like that, payroll. Okay, HBAR could do that. Now, let's go here with FIS and let's just take a look. They have a list here. This is on appsruntheworld.com. They have a list of financial partners of FIS, just so you can get an idea of who this is that is using Hedera and building with Hedera. Of course, at this stage, everyone is just building infrastructure. Everyone's just building right now. Nothing is completely rolled out. There's no regulatory clarity. There's no mass adoption just yet. So everyone's still in a building phase. Remember that. So we haven't seen the fruits of the labor yet. We're in a stage where we're still doing the labors, so to speak, still building. Number one, Bank Lumi, which is in the USA, CIT Group, Citizens Financial Group, Customers Bank, Emprise Bank. We're on FISglobal.com, and they give us two banks that they're working with, which I believe these are use cases, right? NBH Bank, right? And also Commercial Bank of California. There's just a few banks of FIS who is utilizing Hedera HBAR, who is on their governing board. Go to Hedera's website, look at their governing board. Over there to the left, you're going to see FIS. They're bringing the banks. Listen, if you see these little upticks that Hedera is having right now, just imagine if it were utilized by the bank. So now we're on featuredcustomers.com, and they have a list of customers of FIS. Okay, so let's just take a little gander at this here. You have Adam Bank. You have Cities for Financial Empowerment is here. CBC Commercial Bank is here. Country Financial, Credit Suisse, Cross Keys Bank, Heritage Bank is here. There's so many powerful institutions being supervised. You have Home City Federal Savings Bank is here under FIS, who is on the governing board of Hedera. Money, 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 money. Listen, I'm just laughing, man. It's oh, it's funny because there's so many people, they absolutely hate the banking coins. They hate the banking coins with a passion. And they're in love with that quick money. I understand. They're in love with that quick money, a meme coin flip here, you know, a non-utility store value coin flip there. They're getting this little quick money. It's just it's tiny money. It's good money. Take your money. Get your money. Make money. Okay, make money. We're here to make money. But you should diversify if you want. You should be able to get that quick money and also be able to acquire generational wealth at the same time. Why not? I don't understand it, but that's why I have to just have a laugh. Kitsai Bank is here. There's Maples Fund Services. NBH Bank is here. Modern Woodman Bank is here. National Central Bank is here. You gotta leave retail. You gotta leave. You gotta get out. It's not made for retail. We are the select few. The select few. And I don't consider us retail. We're AHAB investors. You have Sumitomo Mitsui Trust Bank is here. I can just keep going. This page just keeps scrolling. This is who is on Hedera's governing board. To think that that price is not going to go so parabolic. I know a lot of people like to say Ripple has the most banks. And let me tell you something, Stellar is right up there with Ripple. If you better look at that list of banks that IBM has as a financial client or partner. It's extensive and it's significant. So they're both very significant, Stellar and Ripple. But if you look at FIS, if you look at the people that Hedera has on their governing board, we're just taking one, just one, FIS, just FIS. Look how many banks FIS is either rendering services to or is a supervisor over. It's unbelievable. We will have to wait and see how they utilize Hedera, but my goodness, if FIS chooses to utilize Hedera as a cryptocurrency rail, sort of how MTech is doing, being that FIS is actually on Hedera's governing board, they're using Hedera for something. They're using it for something, right? It's going to be more than security and smart contracts. I can guarantee you that. Why would FIS not want a chunk of that money? When they're advising and supervising so many banks, you think they don't want a piece of that money? They're going to come into them in a meeting and say, listen, we all can make an exorbitant amount of money and we all can save a lot of money. This is going to grow our industry exponentially. You think anyone's going to say no? And they already trust FIS. Unbelievable. Ultimus Fund Solutions is here. We can keep going. So I just wanted to put that out there to show the potentiality of HBAR, that it's right there with Stellar and XRP as far as its access, okay? There's no guarantees. That's not why we're here. We're doing the research. We're trying to use the causes to see what effects could be possible. Then you can extrapolate on which effects are more viable than others. Okay, if you want to do process of elimination, but at least you know the possibilities. We're going to operate with foresight. And these are, right now, this is what Hedera HBAR has access to because one of its governing members, FIS, is a supervisory body or advisor or partner with so many banks. It's mind-blowing. And this is why Visa was also integrating fully with FIS because of the big move that Visa wants to do. So Visa now is working with Stellar through Tala. That's a fact. And also will have access to Hedera HBAR through FIS, which is now fully integrated with Visa. So, hey, now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, Let's get to the money.